I'm James, a fly fishing fanatic from the north, with an absolute obsession for chasing silver.
Yeah, it's a big fish. I've got a hell of a fish on here. I'll get the net.
And I'm Ripon, a certified coarse angling addict that literally eats, sleeps and breathes fishing.
I ain't gonna kiss it again. Oh, you can kiss it. No.
Being from different ends of the fishing spectrum, our paths crossed during our incredible big fish worldwide adventure.
Oh, the main man's in again.
It had to be fate, and there was only ever going to be one outcome.
A new partnership was born, one ready for a new angling adventure. Last time we took on the world, this time it's a little closer to home.
Bring on the bass.
We have some truly incredible fish that reside in our British waters, with a select few falling into a unique category. Fish so spectacular, they have shaped and changed people's lives and driven them to have an insatiable fascination with them. It's time to be proud of what we have and celebrate their status as an iconic fish.
We can't do this alone though, so we have drafted in our good friend and world-renowned fly fishing legend, Hal Morgan. Along with Hal, we'll also be joined by some of the country's most talented anglers to help us not only understand and discover, but catch these iconic fish.
We are the Untamed Anglers.
And this is Britain's iconic fish.
We've got the Untamed Anglers and the Untamed Fish.
The boats are ready, and I think it's time to start fishing. What do you think? Come on, Howell. Chops away.
Oh mate, we're here on probably one of the most prolific rivers in the country, the River Wye.
And this week we're going in search of two of Ripon's favourite fish.
And that is the chub and barbel.
Oh mate, I can't wait. It's a stunning place.
Right, I'm gonna definitely get you a chub,
Do not let me down.
but I hope to God we get you a barbel.
Well, come on, let's go and get one.
Barbus, the barbel, also known as the Prince of the River. These fish thrive in fast-flowing, well-oxygenated rivers. Streamlined and built like a 100-metre sprinter, they are perfectly adapted for their habitat and makes them one of the hardest fighting fish in our fresh water. Takes can be so aggressive that rods have been pulled back into the depths, never to be seen again. Squaliocephalus, the chub, can also be found inhabiting the same waters as barbel, but unlike their neighbours, they are actually a member of the carp family. With a colossal bucket-like mouth, these fish have a voracious mixed appetite, feeding on small invertebrate and fish, to frogs and even small mammals. Their name really does say it all. To help us in a coarse fishing quest, we're joined by a specimen specialist, a Drennan Cup finalist, and the youngest ever winner of the Scottish Federation Specimen Shield.
That is amazing.
A multi-species fanatic
Enormous fish.
that started his journey at only 4 years old. His drive, passion and dedication over the years has seen him amass an incredible CV of PBs to his name. And now only 28, he boasts a list so strong that even the most seasoned of fishermen would be proud of it. We are proud to introduce you to our coarse fishing champion, James Chamkin. What makes this fishing so popular for yourself and others?
Well, I suppose it's the exhilaration of the bite.
Yeah.
Any fishing, let's be honest, the take is the
Yeah.
most exciting, and you don't get much more exciting in coarse angling than a barbel take because it is savage.
I've seen videos of the static rod and the rod literally nearly gets ripped in the water. I quite like that element. I mean, I haven't done that type of fishing, so I'm quite excited to see that. See, my perception of coarse angling in bait fishing is stripped back, simple, basic, you know what I mean? It's that perception. I'm maybe a little bit uneducated on stuff like that. This is just totally blowing my mind. It's so technical. The carp one was bad enough, but this just seems even more.
Again, like I said, it really is as complicated as you want to make it. Like you see, you can walk around a tackle shop and get really confused at all the bits on offer, but to be honest, fishing is fishing, and the fish haven't changed a great deal.
I am itching to get in that water. I cannot wait.
So I'm going to start with the hook length, probably about 2 foot long.
Right.
Again, the length of that hook length can make a huge difference on the day. And often once you catch a few fish, they might back off a little bit, and then using a hook length 5-6 foot even.
Yeah. So why start with 2? Is that just a sort of go-to?
2 is quite a convenient length. Again, if they're coming up to the feeder, once they get confident, then they're not too concerned about coming quite close to the main line.
Yeah.
So 2. You can go much shorter. You could go down to 6 inches if they're really confident, but 2 is just a good kind of mid-range starting point, really. 2 ounce feeder. should be enough in the swim. Often it's a bit of trial and error with the river fishing, because until you get the gist of the flow...
Because on the surface it doesn't look too quick, but you don't know what's going on.
It's surprisingly fast. Yeah, exactly. And say you got a bit of debris coming down, that can catch the line and drag it out of position. So we'll start with the 2 ounce feeder, and then we'll see how we get on.
Mate, we could not have asked for better conditions.
No, that's good.
Literally. Good water height, good clarity, temperatures right up. This river could be 2-3 metres higher.
Oh yeah, it could be in the field behind us.
It's perfect.
You know what this is, don't you?
It's a bank stick.
No, it's sunglasses, look. Oh, there we go. It makes you look through the river. No, seriously, that suits you. Oh, quite nice. Right, there you go. Right, stand this up, fill it up with maggots, pop the top on, that'll sit in the water flow goes in, maggots come out, trickle, trickle, trickle.
Got ya.
Happy days.
Piece of piss.
Go get it, back. Oh God, you know what he's forgotten, isn't it? That'd be helpful, wouldn't it? This guy's meant to be a world-class professional fisherman, do you know what I mean? I best go give it to him. So we're here, guys, on the beautiful River Wye. We're chasing barbel and chub. I've gone for my old trusty technique, what I use back home as well, the old faithful centre pin on a medium-sized loafer, and what I'm going to be doing is just trotting maggots. So at the moment, I'm going to stay mobile. I'm going to try and find out where the fish are. Just gradually putting bits of bait, not massive heavy, just, you know, every other cast, just a little handful of maggots, just to trickle down, hopefully build a swim up. Hal's below me, so hopefully that'll do him a favour as well, because my maggots will be floating all the way down. Hopefully I can get one out.
I'm sat here like a garden gnome. Ripon has given me this rod. And he said, just cast it out the middle. That's all I got to do. So that's all I'm doing. And the only other piece of advice he gave me was keep the rod tip high. I've
gone for the old float, the old trotting technique. Personally, I think it's deadly, because what you're doing is you're presenting the bait so naturally as it flows down the river. This doesn't actually have any clutch. This just goes on the resistance of the water pulling it, and it just gives the presentation. There's no other way. Like, I just love fishing like this. But I've just got a medium feeder rod because I want something that could still handle a barbel but still handle a chub at the same time, so it's not too soft and it's not too heavy.
Well, Rip has put me in this swim. He's given me a rod, which is a bait runner on it, cage feeder, there's pinkies and normal coloured maggots, they're horrible. So I'll get this in, what we've got, so he tells me, is a cage feeder. It's like a cage, pop it up at the top, fill that with maggots, and then all the maggots, the water comes through the top and pushes all the maggots out the bottom, trying to pull the fish into your swim. So you've got to keep doing this on a regular basis. That's why they call it maggot drowning.
Over to you, mate. It's only fishing about, like I said, about a third of the way across, so give it a go.
Happy days.
So feather it down, feather it down.
Well, I pulled it back a bit, didn't it?
Well, the Wye is just an incredible river. I mean, it produces probably almost every core species in the UK, and obviously the game species as well. And yeah, just the amount of fish in the Wye these days is incredible. Like the match weights it produces 40, 50 pound bags of roach.
See, I wouldn't look at the Wye as a coarse fishery. I've always known it to be a salmon fishery.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm uneducated, I'm a salmon angler.
Well, no, I think
I'm biased.
I think you're right. I mean, I suppose 20, 30 years ago, maybe even more recently, it was the kind of reserve of the rich and famous and salmon anglers only. But now
all along the side of the river you can see croys coming out. That's why it's obviously at some point it was a phenomenal salmon fishery, because you've got all the concrete croys, stone croys coming out.
Yeah.
I would love to know who your inspiration was, or who got you into fishing, or where you started, what your first fish was.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I suppose I'd have to credit my dad with kind of actually getting me into the sport. I mean, he had a friend who owned some lakes, and he took me there when I was about 4 years old. And I caught my first fish. It was a roach, I think. There's a picture of me, this little skinny blonde-haired kid with a roach hanging from a hook, quite unceremoniously. So I think that was my first fish. he was a shooting man more than anything, but he just wanted to get me out in the countryside, I think.
Just look where we are today, mate. There's just something about being outside and having someone within the family there that can actually get you outside, get you into fishing is great. A lot of people these days struggle because they've got no family members or even friends that go fishing.
Yep.
And that gets back to the organisation that you're part of, the Angling Trust, and I think it's great what they do. It's not just about the protection of the species, it's about getting more people on the water and doing what we're doing today. This is phenomenal. Beautiful countryside, whisper quiet. You know, we've got a chance of a phenomenal fish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the trust do a massive amount to try and get more people, you know, more kids particularly into fishing. I mean, I think it's a difficult time we live in. There's a lot more distractions. We need more young people out 100%. There doing it and showing that it is, you know, it's a sport for young people, not a load of old blokes who are sitting on the riverbank. You know, people like yourself. You know, I think I've done a lot for that because, you know, I think you obviously do inspire a lot of young people to get out there and do it because you can make it look pretty cool.
Yeah. It's the first time anyone's ever said that. Cool.
So barbel are my absolute favourite. I must admit, I am an absolute sucker for barbel. I just love them. They are powerful, they look cool, you know, but the thing is they are actually quite hard to catch. Chub are a little bit more easy on the other hand because they're a little bit more greedier, but again, they are very, very welcome.
Good grayling count! Oh my god. Become barbel and chub fishing. Listen, you can take the boy out of the river, but he's still going to catch a grayling. Well, Rip's put me in a spot. I got totally bored. I've been there for about an hour checking a swim feeder, and then it went off. And guess what? We're after chub and barbel, but I've got a beautiful white grayling. Brilliant.
Well, James has given me the lovely job of filling up the feeder. Just literally putting in as many maggots as possible, packing them right down. We've actually gone to a bigger feeder now. I think it's amazing how they can find their way out. Anyway, when they're in the water, I thought they would drown instantly.
You would. You'd think they don't move very far, but obviously the current helps push them out, so they then get dragged downstream, and that helps bait the swim. So quite amazing little creatures, really. That's perfect. Bang on, James. Good work, mate.
Yeah, there's a fish on. That's a decent fish as well.
Good work, mate.
That is a better fish. Little change of tactics from Jamesy boy.
Not a bad fish.
Oh, it's just come off.
Howell Morgan. How are you, mate?
Ripster.
How you getting on?
This is great, this.
You're loving it, ain't you?
Yeah.
Hey?
Wish I brought a book with me.
Welcome. Wish you brought a book. Mate, enjoy it. Look, you're on the Y, catching barbel with us. Come on.
Hold on. I'm on the way.
All right.
You just said catching barbel. Let's hope so. I haven't actually caught a barbel. I saw a barbel.
Have you not? Have you never caught a barbel?
I've never caught a barbel. I saw one once. Brilliant.
Patience, yeah.
Which I haven't got.
You haven't, no. Shall I just give you a stick so you can just like wiggle it about for a bit?
No, I packed a pike rod as well, so.
Shall I poach your swim quickly and quickly?
Yeah, go on and show me how to catch one.
Shall I trot one underneath the tree just there?
You're just holding it back just to lift them up a bit, yeah?
Yeah, there's not much of a current there. See how it's just making its way in. But sometimes if it's just lying on the ground, they might just pick it up off there. I'll go a bit further out so you get right underneath that tree.
Quite peaceful. There's just something about just waiting for that bite. I don't know, it's nice and quiet, it's warm, it's just, I can see the attraction for this type of fishing. It's just that I love using an indicator when I'm fly fishing. This is quite similar, but we're just using the tip, just something a little bit different. But you just don't know when it's going to, you take your eye off it for a split second and the rod goes over. But it's nice, I'm comfortable, I'm sitting down, we're not moving far. We're just trying to draw the fish to ourselves, so it's a little bit different to what I do back home. Constantly on the move, trying to find the fish. Even though the fish are swimming upstream, we're constantly moving down, and this, we're just trying to draw them in. We've hooked one, we've lost it, but there's fish there.
Just going to refill the feeder and remove this massive chunk of salad that I've got on my my feeder. I've probably rung a lot of changes, so probably just a question of sticking at it at the moment. I don't really want to go much lighter. Change of maggot colour. Double red maggot rather than double white. Sometimes it's stupid little things like that that can make a difference. But the chubbing this afternoon will be more reliable, I hope. Catch a barbel in kind of early January, even in this weather, is a big ask.
Every barbel angler is going to go, no, what are you doing? That's not the best month. Yes, you're right, but it is proven to be a bit of a challenge, but we are remaining very hopeful. They are in here and they have been caught at this time, so fingers crossed. I just hope James don't get one before me.
What is happening? Nothing at the minute. No fish. Panic stations. If we end up moving, we're going to leave a huge trail of bait and maggots here. The fish are going to come in and we've actually left, so it's pointless moving yet. We keep bringing the changes, longer hook length, different size hooks, different weighted feeders. We've even put some scent on the maggots now just to try and get a little bit more scent going in the water, just to attract the fish over. I've had a couple of bites, but nothing solid yet. But it's a waiting game. Lovely chubbly.
It'd be good if you could see them in here. Or try and, you knew they were there and you could target them and work on them, but this is like a check out and hope to pull them into your swim. And I know we're giving them food, but it's like...
This is basically pre-bait for the chub and what can go into a little feeder. So what you can do is mash bread like this, and then you can get little balls of it and just ball it into a few swims. Just like pre-baiting for anything really. And then obviously the chub settle on the bread, and then you go in with a bit of bread flake and maybe a small feeder.
I mean, that was fun. It was different. It was new for us. I've learned quite a lot. But this is I quite like the stalky element. 20 minutes here, move. And obviously you've pre-baited the swim, so fingers crossed there should be a few fish here.
Or is it a minnow?
Mate, that is my first bullhead. I cannot believe that. We saw the rod going. You know what I think's happened there? I wouldn't be surprised if that fish was on and something bigger might have had a go at it. I don't know, because it was just, the tip wasn't even moving.
That's adorable, isn't it? Look at that.
And the tip shot round. It was a hell of a bite. Doesn't matter if they're big or small, you succeeded. That's what fishing's about. Different experience, different day, location, out with your friends. The fish is obviously why we're here, and people always say, oh, it's a bonus, but it's just nice getting them out. They're magnificent creatures, man. There's so many different types and species, and that's probably one of the smallest fish I've ever caught. It's up there anyway. Doesn't look very... I'm not even taking the mick. I'm never wearing felt wading boots again on wet grass. That was exciting.
Yes.
Yes. That's a good fish, mate.
If that's a chub, it's decent.
Is there a reason why you've got the rod at a lower angle?
Just helps draw it upstream a lot quicker. I don't like to bring them to the surface because they tend to thrash around, and that can be really dangerous. It's a chub, it's a good fish. Oh, that's not bad. These white chub fight hard.
Get in. Yes. Get in. Yes. I don't want to shout too much, because what we want to do, we're on the same team tomorrow. We'll keep this one a secret, right? We've got to. Mate, that's a clonking fish.
I've got them out.
Oh, mate, that's a belt. I'm so happy. You don't know. Honestly, we fished so hard for that fish. I'm over the moon. People might just think it's a chub, it's a fish. That's what we've came for. That's one of the iconic fish we've came for. You can see why people have such a fascination. Look at the mouths on them. If rip was a fish, he'd be a chub.
Well, we can get where we're using such big baits, massive chunks of red flake, big bits of luncheon meat, big pellets and boilies. They'll just engulf the lot. They're just incredibly designed fish and just stunning as well. That kind of bronzy colour across the back and that light belly, it's just...
What a fish, mate. I'm over the moon.
And it fought like crazy.
Mate, good fight. Should we go and get another?
Awesome.
Come on, let's go and get him back.
This isn't the most exciting of fishing, but probably one of the most rewarding, because you have to sit it out, just waiting for that one bite. You're waiting for that rod to literally wrap round. You have a big old juicy barbel at the end of it, and then the fight's on. They are a little bit far and few between, but we are here on an amazing stretch of river, and we're in for a good chance. It's just if they switch on, it will be happy days. But the other question is are they actually there? Is it a matter of going to go find them?
There's no pleasing some people, you know what I mean? Try your hardest. Right. Fish on. Yes. Fish on. Fish on.
Play it hard, mate, that's it.
Yeah. This is by far my biggest chub already, mate, I can tell. Oh, he is a nice fish. He's a good fish, mate. He's bigger than I thought. I'll get his head up. Get in, mate.
PB chub.
Get in, PB chub. Yeah. First wide chub, mate.
Happy days.
Happy days. The
Good
dream
work.
team, mate. I'm so happy.
Hard work.
We went
Hard
four and a half hours without a bite. You made the executive decision to move, go and try and get some chub instead of barbel, and look what we've got. The end result. Stunning fish. So halfway down the country to the River Wye, there's my first Wye chub. That is my PB. What a stunning fish. Just look at the mouths on the size of those lips. It's such a shame really that they've got a name like chub. I mean, these other fish are so elegant, you know, like barbel, roach, salmon, but they are an incredible species.
Doesn't do it justice, does it?
Doesn't do it justice at all, mate, but I can see the fascination with them.
To quote John Wilson, that's a clonker.
Let's go and get a bigger one. What a fish, mate.
Look at that, just at the last knockings. Sun's just gone down, moved into a new spot. And there we go, we have got ourselves an absolute beautiful chub. Look at us. Yeah. Finally. Look at that. That's what he took, an absolute humongous bit of meat. Absolute beast of a chub. Absolute mint condition. Hello, my beauty. Oh, thank God. Now I can throw it in James's face. There we go. Off she goes.
So it's competition time. We've actually tossed a coin to see who's going to fish where. And unfortunately, this man won.
So, tactic-wise, yesterday we got a lot of chub in the evening out of one spot, so I'm going to leave that till the evening. And then this morning, we're going to go further up onto the bridge. We're going to be doing a lot of trotting with maggot and bread. Hopefully we can wiggle some chub out.
Good tactics. Competition rules are as follows. Heaviest individual chub, heaviest individual barbel if we get one, and if it's a draw,
Will be total fish count.
good tactics. Good luck, mate. Come on.
Let's go.
Left is hanging.
Yeah, you know this is the daddy swim. Right, so it's competition day. and I've always had great success on the centre pin. This is probably one of my favourite ways to fish. It's probably one of the most old school as well. I'll just take you through it as well. So I've got a huge size 8 hook there, and what that is to hold a big lump of bread on. I've got a tiny shot at one end, and then I've got an olivet. What I find with olivets, they cause a less water disturbance, so when you're striking you've got less resistance. And then on the float I've got the old faithful loafer. These floats are brilliant. They just slide up and down, so you know I don't have to retie any rigs or anything like that. I can just literally change the depth like that. So I'm just going to guess at the moment. I'm just going to go with there. I'm just going to have a trot through. A lot of people don't know what trotting is. Trotting is basically you're just going along with the float, but you're going with the flow. And what that does, that naturally presents a bait to the fish. So you're actually going to the fish. As where if it's on the bottom, you're relying on the fish finding the bait and eating the bait there. As where here, you're just finding them opportunity fish, you know, something comes across and then bang. The best baits for chub, and especially trotting, is bread. Just liquidize some bread like that as well, so that's your feed going in, and then a nice old lump on the end. What you do with that as well, you do filter out the smaller fish. So and also as well, we're after chub, we can't get any small fish, so that's why I come off the maggot, I've gone onto the bread. Right, Mr. Morgan, this is something that's going to be very alien to you, and it doesn't have any little bit of fluff.
No, it's got a big chunk of meat on. So come on.
Right, so what I've got here, with meat, I like to use a big long shank hook.
Yeah.
So what that does, it actually holds in the meat quite nicely. Trouble is with meat, because it's soft, you can always lose it on every cast. Fluoro hook link,
yeah.
Just down to a swivel with a bead, gripper lead to hold the bottom, and all that is sliding.
Yeah.
So when that's on there, fish takes it, slides line, rod tip goes, bang.
Strike.
Easy as that.
Well, it's not the target species, but I tell you what, it's a stunning grayling. And I love them. They like maggots just the same as chub. So you go back and tell all the chub there's some nice maggots, please.
Right, I might look like the Lone Ranger at the minute, but me and James have had a tactical decision. We're actually fishing different swims. They're not really big enough for 2 rods, but we managed to get above the bridge, rip on and howler below. So James is going to stick it out fishing for barbel this morning, and I'm going to keep trying for the chub with what we were using yesterday, and it worked. So we're in a great swim. I'm just going to chuck it along this seam line, just see if we can get something.
Yeah, so we're using a very similar setup to yesterday, really. Really simple, big maggot feeder to get a lot of bait down on the deck. Try and get some maggots going through the swim and draw barbel down from upstream. That's the theory. Yeah, but not a very big fish. I haven't got a net either. What have we got here? How many trout? Jesus. Well, wasn't really what I expected, but I'm going to say no to a bonus brown trout.
This literally blows my mind. I mean, just the most basic thing for bait, bread. But it works so well yesterday, and there's so many different species like this, but chub, they're that greedy, they'll eat anything, but for some reason this bread flake was phenomenal yesterday, and it tastes nice as well. Well, we've got about half an hour left of the first half of the day. Ripple and Howler down below the bridge. Me and James are just above it, and we're going to rotate at half time. I know the boys have had a fish because I could hear howl from a mile off. We don't know what it was, we don't know how big it was, But we've only had a trout, which doesn't count for anything at the minute, so fingers crossed. The next half hour we can pull out a fish.
Shut up. What's going on now? Oh. Fishing's absolutely been brilliant here on the Y. We're after Barbel and chub and I've had 3 grayling. It's, I don't know. I'm totally out of my depth. It's not something I'm comfortable with. What Rip has been doing earlier, trotting, being really mobile, fishing a swim, I'd have liked to have had a go at this, but sat down just watching rod tips is just not my kind of fishing, really. It would help if we had a few more fish, but in the practice yesterday, in the right swims, which we are now, it produced quite a few chub last night, and it was just after the light was starting to go. That was the witching hour. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're in the right place, we got the right bait. That's all we need now, is the fish to play ball, and the right fish as well. That means chub, barbel, no grayling. Didn't think I'd ever hear myself ever say no grayling, but there we go.
So it's half time, we swapped sides, and now I'm in my favourite swim. Yesterday we pulled out quite a few chub out of me, so if anything it's still a bit too light, but as the light drops, I reckon we'll be on it, we'll be on to a winner. I just really want to beat James, it'd be quite nice to throw it in his face.
Right, it's past the halfway mark. We've just changed with the boys there, going up to where we've been. We've moved down here to where, to be honest, we had a bit of luck yesterday. James is actually setting up another rod, because at the minute we don't know if anyone's winning. We know they've had a fish, they know we've had a fish, but ours doesn't count. So changing tactics slightly, but somebody yesterday to try and get at least a chub. One chub could win it.
I've kind of gone for the, I suppose what some people would call a sleeper rod setup. So putting a heavier rig out for a bonus big barbel, hopefully. That's the plan. So kind of leaving that fishing beside me while I trot this crease with maggots to try and pick up, well, anything really, but hopefully some chub. So yeah, kind of 2-pronged approach, and hopefully double our chances of winning the competition.
Happy days. New swim, new chance, new fish. So make sure I don't hook Jamesy boy. Thumbs up. Happy days.
So getting on the day, me and Hal haven't had a single fish yet. I don't know how the other guys have got on, but I'm still hopeful. I had a few bites earlier, so I'm gonna still stick it out, wait for the sun to go down and start trotting again.
What about fish? Look at that. Oh, I think it's snagged. Oh, sorry. Now, but hopefully it's light, I might be frayed now. You can extend that net without cutting it out. Oh, it could be a barbel, mate, it's really heavy.
Could be a barbel. Come on, please.
Really heavy. Really heavy. I am nervous.
Mate, we always get like this.
Shut, it's going crazy.
My heart's going tender, it doesn't.
Small barbel.
It's a barbel. It's a barbel. Oh, don't worry. Didn't want to stab at us.
It's alright.
Shit, under the rock. Yeah. You can get him over, I'll get him.
Such a turn of speed, these.
Yeah. I see what you mean about the difference in power.
Oh. Sorry, I'm going to bring it to you now, mate. Do you know?
Get in! Come on! Yes! Get in, mate! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy! Mate, you grafted so hard for that fish. Seriously. Yes!
I don't believe it.
Do you think the other boys heard us? Oh my, put it there, mate.
Mate, I can't believe it's happened.
You stuck at it. You earned that. You grafted your arse off for that, mate.
It's not a bad fish, actually.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Right, mate, this is more important than the FA Cup. There's your prize, buddy.
So I came with a plan to fish the maggot feeder, stuck to the guns, been really hard work, but persevering. I was staring at the rod tip, had a classic bite, just a little pluck and then a massive drop back where the fish picked up the bait and came towards me. I was winding down like crazy and connected to a powerful fish, and I thought it could be a chub at first, and I felt the power and I thought, no, it's got to be a barbel. And what a fish, what a barbel. I mean, for you it's probably the salmon, but for me this is Britain's iconic fish.
It is, mate. It's one-off. It is a one-off fish, and well done.
Fantastic.
So it's nearly time to change over. We haven't had any fish yet. Well, Hal's had 2 grayling, but again, they don't count. So I'm just being a bit more opportunist. I'm just going to trot around. I've just come into a new swim, and I'm just going to work the seams, and if I can snag one, happy days.
Oh, he's put me in the snags. Oh, hooked him right out there. He's still there. It'd be good if I had a teammate coming to help me. Bastard. Tell you what, I'm going to see rod tips in my nightmares tonight. He keeps staring and he's bloody things and he don't move. Flippin' heck.
We're into the last hour. Hal got snapped up on one where it took him into the snags. I could hear the other team shouting from a distance, so I think they might have a fish. What fish, I don't know, but I just got to keep trying. But what I'm thinking, I'm hopeful, because at this time yesterday, as the sun was just dropping, that's when the chub turned on. So if we can get a few chub out, hopefully we can get the numbers out.
As you can probably tell, the sun's gone down now. We've got half an hour left. We've switched tactics slightly. I'm fishing meat now. We just need to pick up 1 chub and then we could win it. James is sticking to his guns there with the maggots, so fingers crossed. Anything can happen in half an hour. Get in, mate.
Not a big fish.
Oh, you absolute superstar.
Not big. Don't get excited. I think it's another barbel, but possibly a chub.
They all come, mate. This is what we need. I've just missed a bite there. I didn't see it.
Oh, I can't see it. It's down to the rod tip plodding about. There it is. It's probably a smallish chub. Can you see it?
No.
Oh my. Yeah, what is it? Is it a chub?
It's a chub. Is it?
Yep.
Yes! Get in, mate. Excellent. Well done. Well done, buddy.
Is a massive bonus.
Well
I didn't expect that.
2 seconds. Chub.
I really wasn't expecting. I was just saying, mate, I thought my chances had gone.
On maggot.
On maggot.
Would you believe it?
In the pitch black.
I can't believe that.
I've literally just run out of maggots.
Honest. You've pulled out the bag, mate. You are an absolute superstar.
Unbelievable.
That is ridiculous. I thought you were joking on.
No. Proper massive drop
back. That is
back.
a decent fish, you know.
Massive drop back again.
That is a decent fish. Well, we went to the last 5 minutes of injury time, and the man might have just gone and scored a last minute winner. That was literally the last 5 minutes. We just said 5 minutes. That was your last cast because he's got no maggots left. And look what he's just caught.
So, along with the barbel, this for me really is one of Britain's iconic fish. You know, chub and barbel are really the mainstay of river fishing, coarse fishing in rivers in this country. And they're just awesome creatures, perfectly built for a tough life in rivers like the Wye. Got massive heads, big, broad backs, and as James was saying earlier, they eat pretty much anything. Just amazing creatures. Often take this kind of silvery sheen in the winter as well. They can be quite bronze coloured in the summer, but at this time of year, when the water's really cold, they go quite silvery along the flanks. What a gorgeous fish. Chub in the moonlight.
Time, lads! That's it! Wind your lines in! So it's the end of the competition. It's pitch black and we're all worn out. But I think the most important thing is to get these results out the way because I am done.
Right, so competition rules state, right, largest chub,
or largest barbel, or number of fish. So for a start, do you want to go ahead and tell them?
Right, we landed 2 fish. We lost what we think was a big barbel. Unfortunately, 2 fish we landed. We're grilling. So for us,
how it
nil
goes.
point.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm going to pass you on to the main man because he's got something to tell you guys.
Let's hear it.
So we landed 4 fish. 2 of those were brownies, unfortunately. One of them was a chub.
What?
About 3.5 pounds.
Nice fish. And are you ready?
And the other fish was a barbel.
Oh, mate.
mate.
Absolute awesome.
Well done.
Awesome.
So,
Well done, James.
That is a firm winner. And I'll be honest with you, well done. Seriously.
And I just want to say a massive thank you to James for the last 2 days for not
you very
only kicking your asses, but showing us how to fish and choosing the location, because you know it's been hard, but it's been incredible. But I think we deserve a good hard drink. But definitely, go on, boys.
Let's go home.
Oh, is it waiting?
Watch some snake hips.
Oh my God!
You know what this is, don't you?
It's a bank stick.
No, sunglasses, look.
I should just caught it.
Right, we've got to try and put this at someone's doorstep, alright?
No.
Double down it.
No.
Can we just pay someone to do it?
That's my brother. Dancing with fish.
He just wanted to get the fox waders on camera. That's what it was.
There we go. Fish on. Whoa.
You don't know where we are?
No.
Go on, leave it out.
I don't. We're having done, are we?
Here we go. Time, lads! That's it! Wind your lines in!